All right, people, we are in here on a Monday, fresh off the Iron Bowl, fresh off Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving holiday. Alabama will take on LSU this weekend at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But you're rocking and rolling here on In My Own Words, the hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Crimson Tide football news with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And we're getting it now, Crimson Tide defense. And there were players in the preseason that a lot of you circled, you highlighted, you underlined, you put a star by these guys. You thought in the preseason, these will be players that will be monsters. These will be players that will be dominant. These will be players that will be physical creatures that wreak havoc on the opposing team. These will be players that there will be impact guys. When you circle this particular player, you win. He's going to be good. He's going to be a beast. He's going to be dynamic. Got to see him. Want to see him. And of the players that we all discussed, talked about in the offseason, whether it was the spring, whether it was the summer, fall camp, some of those names that we circled have started to come to life and show you that they are the real deal. Now, of course, not having a spring practice and how weird this season is due to the coronavirus pandemic, not having a spring practice, not having those workouts, not having the A-Day game, not having the team meetings, even not having a real workout session during the summer, though it did have the in-person voluntary workout program, and then having a fall camp that was not your traditional fall camp. Despite all the crazy things thrown at the team this year, you are now starting to see some of those guys that you circle in preseason as impact players. They are starting to show up and show out here for this team. And the first one that comes to mind is Christian Barmore. Christian Barmore was one of those guys everybody circled, especially after the way he performed last year in limited action. 26 tackles, 6 tackles for loss a season ago. Believe he had 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hurries. I mean, he was energy, production, fierce, big-time player. The one concern we kind of had coming into the season would be, his discipline and gap assignment. Could he take the next level and show him a discipline in the gap assignment and stopping the run, just do his job? He was so focused last year on got to make a big play, got to create energy, got to have the fans jumping up and down, got to do that type of thing. And even though he made a lot of big plays last year, there were times where he just needed to focus on doing his job. So that was the one concern people had on Barmore coming into the season. But this year, he has played well. 18 tackles for the young man, 3.5 tackles for loss here, 3 sacks, 3 pass breakups, 5 quarterback hurries. He's been everywhere. In the Iron Bowl, he had Bo Nix running for his life. There was one play in the game, though. I'm like, Christian, how is it that you and DJ Dell, y'all both have Bo Nix in the end zone sacked for a safety, and you let him do a Johnny Manziel Houdini on both of you, and he escaped both of y'all and picked up 8 yards. That was my only thing with Christian Barmore. He played well in the entire game on last week, but I'm just like, my mind is in left field going, you got 2 300-pound dudes coming right at Bo Nix, and he gets away from both of them. But I'm pretty sure, Barmore's teammates and the coaching staff had a slight little chuckle about that. But the young man is having a big season, especially in these last few games here. Moving on down to Christian Harris. Christian Harris is having a big year, y'all. Christian Harris is having a big year, leading the team in tackles this season. One of the leaders here in tackles for loss on the team. I know in the Iron Bowl, he had a chance at an interception. He kind of batted the ball away from him as if he was practicing self-defense. And Jordan Battle was just like, no, bro, that was your pick. Why did you bat the ball down? And all you saw was Christian Harris's face buried in the ground because he knew He had a chance to create a turnover right there, but Christian Harris is having a good year. Strong year, solid year, and I mentioned this before. Due to the injury that happened to Dylan Moses last year, he didn't get a chance to play at all in 2019. Christian Harris has a bit more experience than Dylan when you look at a Pete Golding ran defense. So Christian Harris having a strong year. Another guy, and here is somebody that coming in, she was kind of a sleeper in a sense. Like, not a lot of people really talked about this guy. Not a lot of people really gave this brother his respect. Not a lot of people felt like he would be one of the starters here on this defense. But he's become the unsung leader in the pass rush game, the unsung leader tackles for loss, the unsung leader, or one of the unsung leaders, quarterback hurries, and that's Christopher Allen. Chris Allen has had a gem of a year, and to me, I think he could potentially be the steal of a draft when it comes to Alabama players. I think Christopher Allen can potentially be the steal of the draft. A NFL team is going to look at him between the third and the fourth round and go, I like this guy. He's tough. He's big at 6'4", 250. He's physical. He can set the edge. He can stuff the run. He's improved his quickness. He's got a lot of length, a lot of arm, a lot of leverage. He's got big hands, and he can affect the passing game. Christopher Allen this year, 9 tackles for loss leads the team. 4 sacks leads the team. 4 quarterback hurries. He has just been really, really active this year, and he got the Iron Bowl started for the defense with a sack of one Bo Nix. So Christopher Allen, big season this year, going from kind of being an unsung guy to an individual that has grown in confidence, has a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, but has grown in confidence. He now believes he can be a disruptor in the backfield, having a big year. Behind Christopher Allen, Will Anderson. Will Anderson is having a big season. Here's another one that you guys circled in the offseason. You circled him and you were like, you know what? This guy reminds me of Tim Williams. You know what? This guy, if he can really hit his potential, I don't want to throw Derrick Thomas out there. A lot of us were like, we don't want to throw Derrick Thomas out there because DT is in his own, he's in his own league. He's in his own entity. He's in his own category by himself. But Will Anderson's got that type of ability to where if he hones in on it, if he hits his ceiling, if he hits his potential, there's an opportunity there for him to go down as one of the greatest outside linebackers, one of the greatest pass rushers to ever play for the Crimson Tide. And last week, got his first career sack. Now, he's been close all season. The brother should honestly have about 13 sacks. He's always been a foot away from the quarterback, an inch away from the quarterback. He's always been right there, but just can't quite bring the man to the ground. He's been so close all year. But against Auburn, got it done. Got to Bo Nix, finished the play, first sack of the year. He gets back up. He's celebrating. Fidarian Mathis is jumping up and down with him. Christian Barmore jumping up and down with him because once you get that first sack as a freshman, it's like that movie Waiting to Exhale. Once you get that first sack, you can finally exhale. And then you can go and just play lights out football. Big ups to the Will Anderson. Anderson this season, 4.5 tackles for loss. He does have the sack, 27 tackles on the season. He leads the team with 8 quarterback hurries, Will Anderson is. Now, another guy right here that you guys had circled was Tim Smith. How about the freshman Tim Smith out of Sebastian River, Florida? Sebastian River High School in Sebastian, Florida. So Tim Smith right here is having a strong season thus far as a freshman. I know they're bringing him in to the rotation, but the last few games when he's got in there, he has made a major impact, whether it's a huge tackle for loss, whether it's a forced fumble. He too got in the backfield and frustrated Bo Nix, had him on the run a couple of times there in the matchup. So Tim Smith, somebody that's one of those creatures starting to step up. You're starting to see him more. And then You go over secondary where you pick up Malachi Moore and Brian Branch. Malachi Moore and Brian Branch. And we had a caller on the post-game show over the weekend, and he literally said Moore and Branch are like Minkah Fitzpatrick and Eddie Jackson reincarnated. And as much as I wanted to say, whoa, hold on now. Money Minkah was Money Minkah for a reason. Eddie Pick Six Jackson was Eddie Pick Six Jackson for a reason. Now, I love Malachi. I love me some Brian Branch. But let's not throw the Money Minkah and the Eddie Pick Six Jackson comparisons out here a little too quickly. But the more I thought about it, I thought Malachi does play with Minkah Fitzpatrick's instincts. You go back and you watch the Iron Bowl where he cut in front of Anthony Schwartz to make his third interception of the season. That's a lot like Minkah. The only area that Malachi has to continue to develop in is when the Tide sends him on a blitz, he's got to get home. Because that's what Minkah did. When the Tide sent Minkah Fitzpatrick on a blitz, Minkah hit home every time, put the quarterback on his butt. So that's the area where Malachi's got to develop a bit more, is when he comes on the blitz, get home. But aside from that, you see a lot of Minkah tendencies in Malachi. And Brian Branch got his first career interception. And when you watch him play, he's kind of got the Eddie Jackson-like range. But once again, these two guys have to continue to grow, have to continue to improve and develop, but the potential to be the reincarnation of Minkah Fitzpatrick and Eddie Jackson is right there. It's right there for Malachi Moore and one Brian Branch. We're very proud of both of those two individuals and all of these players for the Crimson Tide that we circled in the offseason as big-time impact players. It's taken a minute. It's taken a few games, but some games, but we're starting to see some of these players that we circled, that we highlighted, that we were really intrigued and excited about. They are starting to show up and show out here on the defensive side of the football. Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.